Hi guys, welcome back. So England versus Wales, then Wales versus England, little double-header warm-up, well more than a little double-header warm-up. Just a few thoughts on what I think we can get from those games. Okay, so just to remind you, England win the first game, so England at home, they win 33-19, so got a lot of points in that game. And then in the second game, a lot tighter, a lot more like a Six Nations game really, a proper test match. Tight, Wales win at home 13-6, so a win for each. How do they all fare? So I'm going to look at some positives and negatives and where they go next from this. Now, obviously, it's a warm-up game. I've done a whole video on what you can read into warm-up games, so I'm trying not to get too carried away. Let me know if I read too much into this. But generally, big thoughts on England. So, positives for England, they got a big win. Okay, sure, Wales weren't at the races that day, but they got a big win. They got some momentum, especially for a lot of their fringe players. And these fringe players, they've got a lot of game time now. They've got a bit of experience, positive and negative, and actually losing a match, in a warm-up series isn't always a bad thing. It will remind you, keep you honest, remind you what you need to improve, and England did have some things to improve there, but I'm sticking with the positives for now. It's easy to get down on your own team, isn't it? Okay, so one of the big positives, I thought England's set piece throughout this little series has been very solid. Considering they're not all the first choice players, the scrums look very good at times, the line-outs look pretty slick. I think they're going to be very happy with that. England clearly need a big set piece because they're not a massive expansive team, say like Australia. They need that set piece to look good, and it's looking pretty strong. And they'll feel very positive, really, I think, from winning one and getting close in one. And they could say to themselves, it's not our strongest team, so that's not a bad start at all. Obviously, they'd have liked to have won both, but maybe a bit of reality check isn't such a bad thing. Negatives, well, England had to experiment in the back row because of injuries, but it does show you, I think, that when England are a little slower in the back row, with someone like a Lord, a Toje, Billy's obviously not the quickest, he's very good, but he's not the quickest. If you've only got one out-and-out speedster, in this case it was Ludlam, you're going to struggle a little bit to get around the park. I'm not saying it's all the back row's fault, but Wales are a team right on test match intensity and speed, and my God, they were quick over the ball, and England just weren't. That's one of the things England do struggle with, is retaining ball, and they did really struggle to retain ball, especially in good attacking positions. Wales, big up to them. They were super fast on the ball, but England have to be better at retaining that ball. And I thought George Ford was got a bit excited, got a bit wasteful. And in a tight match like that, England had to convert at least one of those chances, and they just didn't spend enough time applying pressure in the right place. So yeah, that's a bit annoying. They're driving maul, didn't really get going, which is something they're going to need, like I've mentioned. And yeah, and sometimes England can get into a bit of a penalty machine mode. I've mentioned it's one of their drawbacks. I thought they got into that penalty mentality. I haven't even been able to find the stats, but it just felt like England were chucking penalties away, some silly ones. I hate the knock-on in the tackle now. It's something 10 years ago you could do, make a big tackle, kind of leave your arm trailing, and you wouldn't get pinged for it, certainly not a penalty. But these days it's always going to be a penalty, and it led to a yellow card, so that was super silly. Coming up next, we've got Ireland, so I imagine England might go full strength there, with a few exceptions. I think they should probably try another 15. Watson would be my pick at 15. Has he played too much already, though? Interestingly, if Watson hadn't got injured, I think he would actually be England's 15. Daly's good, but he does have his fallibilities back there. Will Billy get another game, or are they going to rest him and try Wilson? And there's a number of players like Mako, Sinclair, Youngs need to play with Farrell, Tuolangi and Slade need to play together. So that'll be very interesting to see how they go. So a good showing against Ireland, and it's looking very positive. A poor showing, and it's starting to come undone a little bit. So that next game is pretty big for England. Okay, on to Wales. Big positive, they needed a win, they got it at home. Big momentum shift for them. They're off and running. Like we mentioned, it's very close to their first choice team. They weren't at the races at Twickenham. They won 100% at the races with a winner in the Millennium Stadium. No, Principality Stadium. Yeah, maybe that one. they were right on it. Sean Edwards has probably been putting a rocket up their arse, and they were absolutely on it in attack and defence physically. Absolutely where they need to be. This is where Wales are good. If they can physically dominate teams, they're very hard to beat. If they get ahead, I'm going to be worried against Wales for sure. And they're the #1 team in the world. What does it mean? Well, rankings can mean a few things, but you don't want to read too much into it. But it's certainly a big positive. It's a bit of a landmark, so you'll take it. Of course you will. Like I mentioned, they were on it. Their defence was very aggressive. They hit England back a lot, and they were super quick over the ball. I was starting to think, are they actually releasing the player in the tackle? But when you see the slow-mos, it's just super quick release and back on the ball. Very, very good. England weren't quick enough to deal with that. Sides playing Wales should be really worried about that. Wales need that. That's a big strength of theirs. And like I said, they got the emotion right. The thing for them is, at the Principality, they're going to get there. In Japan, can they get to that same level that they need to be? Okay, so negatives wise, it was quite a heavy defeat at Twickenham. That will hit them a little bit when it was their first team running out, but they got their win. You could say it was a narrow win, but they looked good value for it. They felt like by far the better team, even though the scoreline was quite tight. England only really needed to convert one chance to be right back in it, but still, they felt in control to me. Just subjectively feeling the game. That's how I like to look at games, really. I'll tell you what the big negative for me is not how Wales played at all, it's whoever organised these fixtures. Wales' big game is against Australia, and England is terrible preparation for Australia. Maybe intensity, fine, but then they need to go and play someone who play a bit like Australia. They're going to double header against Ireland. That makes no sense. That's terrible preparation for Australia. No, Ireland home and away. How's that going to help them prepare for Australia? Comments below, let me know. Just strikes as a good lucrative money deal to me, and everyone's doing it. I'm not blaming Wales in particular. It just doesn't seem the right preparation. I think Gatland's frustrated about it. Anyway, they're going to mix and match, I think, in that first game. Gatland and Schmidt are colluding, whatever you think about that, but they're trying to get the most out of this next game as possible, so that's surely positive for them. A win for Wales, and they're really rocking and rolling. A loss, and again, it sets them back a little bit. So this next game, this third game for England and Wales, is really, really important momentum wise, and it will dictate again who they play in that fourth game as well. England have Italy, so I think they can kind of do what they want in that game depending how the third one goes. Ireland, for Wales it's Ireland again, so a bit tougher opposition. Be interesting to see what they do for those. Anyway, let me know what you think about England and Wales' preparation. Who's on top? Who's looking good? Wales #1, England are kind of 1 win, 1 loss, yet to play their first team, so very hard to know exactly where they stand, but I think they'll both be reasonably happy with how it's going so far. Anyway guys, until next time, I will see you then.